March 12, 2025, a seismic shift in Philippine history. Former President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested in a carefully orchestrated operation. He was then handed over to the International Criminal Court in The Hague, marking the culmination of a long legal process. The arrest, triggered by an ICC warrant, was based on evidence meticulously gathered over several years, detailing specific charges against the former president. It was the result of years of investigation by the ICC's Office of the Prosecutor. The investigation focused on Duterte's bloody war on drugs. The war on drugs left thousands dead, with allegations of extrajudicial killings. The campaign drew global condemnation from human rights organizations. In a turn of events, the Philippine government cooperated with the ICC. This signaled a dramatic policy reversal. This cooperation ushered in a new era of accountability. Just days later, Duterte appeared before ICC judges. He appeared via video link from his detention facility. This was a stark contrast to his former power as president. The charges, crimes against humanity, were formally read. This launched a pre-trial process watched with intense interest by the world. For the victims' families, this was a glimmer of hope for justice. But for Duterte's supporters, it was a moment of outrage. The nation now faces a reckoning with its violent past. The legal and political fallout unfolds. The world watches with bated breath. The Philippines confronts the complex legacy of Duterte's presidency. The ICC's case against Duterte centers on crimes against humanity, primarily murder committed during his war on drugs. Prosecutors allege Duterte orchestrated or encouraged a state policy that led to thousands of unlawful killings between 2016 and 2019, while the Philippines was still under ICC jurisdiction. The investigation also covers allegations of torture and rape, suggesting a broader pattern of abuse by state forces and vigilantes. The prosecution must prove these acts were part of a systematic attack on civilians, not isolated incidents. Evidence includes Duterte's public threats, police documents, and witness testimonies linking him to the violence. The case is about more than individual crimes, it's about whether a government waged war on its own people. At the ICC, evidence is everything and the process is painstaking. By June 2025, prosecutors had disclosed over 200 pieces of evidence to Duterte's defense, including documents, police reports, and witness statements. Key evidence links Duterte to the killings and details the systematic nature of the anti-drug campaign. The prosecution plans to present over 400 written exhibits, photographs, and nearly 16 hours of audio-visual material at the confirmation hearing. This trove includes government records, NGO findings, and video testimonies. The defense, led by Nicholas Kaufman, must sift through this mountain of material to find weaknesses and mount a counterattack. The scale of evidence reflects the gravity of the charges and the ICC's thorough investigation. Both sides are preparing for a high-stakes legal showdown. Delays are common in international justice, and the Duterte case is no exception. The ICC extended the prosecution's evidence disclosure deadline to July 1, 2025, citing the need to protect witnesses. Many witnesses face real danger for testifying against a former president with loyal supporters. The prosecution had to redact sensitive information and arrange protection, balancing transparency with safety. Human rights groups have documented threats against those seeking justice for drug war victims. The court prioritized witness safety over speed, recognizing the risks involved. For the defense, this meant waiting longer for the full case file. But for the court, it was a necessary safeguard. The new deadline became a crucial milestone in the march toward trial. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, is a beacon of hope for victims of heinous crimes, where justice and accountability are paramount. The ICC gives victims a direct voice in proceedings, setting it apart from other tribunals. Victims aren't just witnesses, they are active participants. In the Duterte case, concerning alleged crimes against humanity, thousands of drug war victims can apply to participate, sharing their stories and concerns with the judges, allowing the court to understand the impact of the alleged crimes. The Victims and Witnesses Unit manages these applications, ensuring fairness and transparency. There is an August 3, 2025 deadline for submissions. Victims' participation is a cornerstone of the ICC's commitment to justice. Their perspectives can influence the judge's assessment of the facts and the law. For many families, this is a rare chance for their suffering to be acknowledged on the world stage. The process empowers victims to take an active role in seeking justice. Their voices help reveal the true human cost. The August deadlines represent a critical opportunity for victims to engage with the ICC, offering a path towards healing, closure, and accountability. Duterte's defense is betting everything on a bold strategy: challenge the ICC's authority to try the case. They argue the court lost jurisdiction when the Philippines withdrew from the Rome Statute in 2019, and that domestic investigations suffice. This legal gambit could end the case before trial if successful. The ICC's appeals chamber previously allowed the investigation to proceed but left the jurisdiction question unresolved, with dissenting judges fueling the defense's argument. The prosecution insists the ICC retains power over crimes committed while the Philippines was a member. The court's ruling on this challenge will determine if the case moves forward or ends abruptly. Duterte's arrest was only possible because of a dramatic political shift in the Philippines. A rift between President Marcos Jr. and the Duterte family shattered their once powerful alliance. As tensions escalated in 2023 and 2024, the Marcos administration softened its stance on the ICC, signaling willingness to cooperate. The government's reversal removed the political shield protecting Duterte, allowing authorities to execute the ICC warrant. The collapse of the Uniteam alliance exposed deep divisions over policy and power. This political fallout, more than any legal argument, paved the way for Duterte's surrender. The case shows how justice and politics are inseparable in the Philippines. The fate of a former president now hangs on shifting alliances and rivalries. The summer of 2025 is packed with critical deadlines in the Duterte case. By July 1st, prosecutors must finish disclosing all evidence to the defense. On July 24th, Duterte's lawyers must declare if they'll present their own evidence at the confirmation hearing. The prosecution has until August 20th to amend charges, giving both sides time to prepare. These deadlines ensure both parties are ready for the September hearing. The process is designed for fairness, full disclosure, clear strategies, and a level playing field. For observers, these dates mark the countdown to a historic legal battle. The stage is set for a confrontation with global implications. Everything meticulously leads to the confirmation of charges hearing, a pivotal stage in the proceedings. This is where the culmination of investigations, evidence gathering, and legal arguments all converge. It's formally set for September 23, 2025. This date marks a critical juncture in the pursuit of justice, a day when the fate of the case hangs in the balance. The world awaits to see what unfolds. Here, a panel of esteemed judges will undertake the solemn responsibility to decide if the prosecution's evidence is strong enough and meets the required legal threshold to proceed further. The judges will meticulously examine all presented materials to potentially send Duterte to trial for alleged crimes against humanity. This decision carries immense weight, impacting not only the individuals involved, but also the broader pursuit of international justice. During the hearing, the prosecution will summarize its case, carefully linking Duterte to the alleged violence and presenting a compelling narrative of his involvement. Conversely, the defense will rigorously challenge the evidence presented, scrutinizing its validity and questioning the court's authority to preside over the matter. Victims' representatives may also be given the opportunity to speak, ensuring their voices, often unheard, are finally amplified and their experiences acknowledged within the legal framework. If the judges ultimately confirm the charges, Duterte would then face a full trial, a historic moment as it would be the first time a former Philippine president stands trial at the ICC. If not, the case could potentially end at this stage, or the prosecution may be granted the opportunity to gather more evidence, strengthening their case for a future hearing. The hearing is undeniably a turning point, a crucial step towards achieving justice for the victims, ensuring accountability for a leader, regardless of their former position, and ultimately, a significant test for the effectiveness and reach of international law. The world will be watching with bated breath, as the Philippines' reckoning with its past reaches a decisive moment, a moment that could shape the future of justice and accountability in the nation. September 23rd will ultimately decide if the case moves forward into a full trial, or if it stops here, leaving many questions unanswered.